Good morning, guys. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Yeah, thank you. Shall we start or should we wait? 16 participants are there. Okay, let us start. So yesterday we have gone through just a discussion about the syllabus as well as course objectives and outcomes. So introduction to VLSI design. So I think we have discussed some of the basics yesterday. So can anyone tell me what is this vacuum tube? Yes, guys, anyone? What is the purpose of this?
Works as a transistor, sir.
Okay. So initially, these vacuum tubes were used for the sake of rectification purpose as well as for the sake of amplification. But what is the disadvantage? Why we are not using vacuum tube, and next why we have gone through this PN diode. After PN diode, we went to BJT. After this FET, field effect transistor. What is this rectification? I think you have gone through this rectifier. What is rectifier?
Opposite of amplifier.
No. Amplifier means it is used to amplify the signal. Means suppose if this is a system and I'm providing some input here. See, let us say some sinusoidal input which is plus 5 volt and minus 5 volt. This is what I'm applying as an input. And if I'm assuming that the system will work as an amplifier, then I'll get output something which is greater than input. See, let us say this is plus 10 volt and minus 10 volt. Then what is the amplification factor here? It is amplified by how much?
2 times.
It is amplified 2 times. So here this 2 is called as a gain. So always that's why input is multiplied with that gain A to give output. Here I'm taking input as 5 volt and the gain factor is 2, and because of which I'm getting output as 10. So that's why we'll call gain A as output by input. Okay. And in terms of control system, we call it as terminology. What is the terminology that I have used in control systems? What is this?
Transfer function.
Transfer function. Transfer function means simple output by input, which is there you have taken as C of S by R of S. C of S is output, R of S is input. Okay, with 0 initial conditions. Okay, then what about rectifier?
AC to DC conversion.
AC to DC or AC to pulsating DC? What is pulsating DC?
Pulsating DC.
Rectifier means it converts AC to pulsating DC. How to make it as pure DC?
Filters.
Filters. I need to add filters so that I'll get pure DC as the output. What are the filters that you have seen?
Low pass.
Low pass filter.
High pass filter.
In rectifiers, what are the filters that you have used?
LC filter, RC filter.
Yes. Initially C, L, LC and CLC. These are the 4 types of filter that you have used. Capacitor, inductor, LC, L section. This is CLC, which is nothing but pi section. Done. So earlier we have made use of vacuum tubes, but the problem is it is used to occupy huge amount of space. That's a major disadvantage with this. That's the reason next we have shifted to PN diode. Already we have discussed PN diode working yesterday. Done. PN diode. It looks something like this. P and N. After this, BJT, bipolar junction transistor, which is nothing but 2 diodes connected back to back. In this we have seen NPN as well as PNP. NPN and PNP. So suppose this is PNP. So 2 diodes connected back to back. It looks something like this. This is P, this is N, and this is P. Here N is sandwiched between 2 P-type materials. Same story with NPN also. Okay. And we have seen what is the definition for transistor. Yesterday we have discussed. Transistor means transferring of signal from low resistive region to high resistive region. Okay, and his inventor John Bardeen in the year 1947. Next. I think in digital electronics you have gone through this JK flip-flop. Can anyone tell me the full form for JK? What is the full form
Master
for JK?
slave.
No, master slave is something different, which is used in order to overcome the race around condition. I'm asking the full form of JK. I think you have gone through these flip-flops, SR flip-flop, D, JK, and T. Can anyone tell me the full forms for this? What is S and what is R?
Set reset.
Okay, set reset. Next.
Delay.
Okay,
Delay.
delay or data. Right. Next. JK.
Johnson.
JK is Jack Kilby. He's the inventor of IC, integrated circuit. Okay. So JK flip-flop means Jack Kilby flip-flop. What about T?
Toggle.
T stands for
Toggle.
toggle. Okay, he's the inventor of integrated circuit, who is Jack Kilby. Again, next in the integrated circuits, we have seen analog as well as digital. What is the difference between analog and digital? Difference between analog and digital, and how will you convert an analog signal into digital? I think you have read AC and DC, analog communication and digital communication. Now you will read digital. Already you have covered analog. So can anyone tell me what is analog and what is digital?
Analog use continuous time analysis.
Okay.
Whereas digital we use discrete time signal by converting them to digital.
How will you convert? Suppose I'm considering this is an analog signal. Yeah.
Sampling, quantizing, and coding.
Okay, sampling and quantization. What is sampling and what is quantization?
Sampling is we introduce discrete time for given continuous time signals.
Means
Equivalent.
can I call it as sampling means slicing vertically?
Yes,
like
sir.
this? So this is something called as sampling. Okay. So sampling means slicing vertically. So after slicing means after sampling, I'll get output something like this. Okay. Then what is the use of quantization now?
We map the input variables.
This is continuous in time and continuous in amplitude, correct? Analog
Yes, sir.
means. Then what about this one? This is, I'm calling this one as discrete. What is the difference between discrete and digital? Discrete means continuous in amplitude, discrete in time.
Time.
Next. After this, what is the process that will you do? Quantization. What is quantization?
We'll map the input variables.
Means mapping means. Can I call it as slicing horizontally?
Yes, sir.
Means something it looks like this. Correct? Why should I do like this? To convert an analog into digital?
To get the exact value. To round off the errors.
To round off the errors. Suppose if I'm considering this peak value as 5 volt and this one as minus 5 volt, and after sampling, suppose I'm considering this value as 1.25, this one as 2.75, this as suppose 4.95, and now you tell me what will happen after doing quantization.
1, 2, 4.
Yes, now this will be 1. 2.75 means what is the nearest value?
3.
Should I consider as 2 or 3?
3, 3.
So
3.
this will be 3. And next 4.95 means
5.
5.
5.
So this is called as quantization. So this is analog, this is a discrete, and this is a digital. Okay, but there is a problem called as rounding off. I mean, see here, if it is 1.25, I'm considering as y 1. So which is nothing but there is an error of 0.25. Whereas here, if you see for 2.75, I'm adding plus 0.25, and for 4.95, I'm adding a value of 0.05. So we call this one as round off error. Okay. Right. So we are done with analog, discrete, and digital. Now you tell me the difference between analog IC and digital IC. Anyone? What is this ADC and DAC? Any idea on this?
Analog to digital converter.
Can you give me an example of analog to digital converter in real time where you are using this one?
Mobile phones.
In that, can I call it as microphone?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So what is transducer? Transducer, which is used to convert one form of signal into another. So generally you'll talk by using mobile, right? So the speech that is coming from you is analog or digital?
Analog.
It is analog. So microphone is nothing but a transducer which is used to convert that analog signal into digital signal. Suppose if I'm saying that there is a transmitter and receiver and which is connected by means of a channel, and the input that is coming to this transmitter is analog, and here you will make use of one mechanism. So what is this encoding and decoding? I mean, what is encoder and decoder? Where I need to use this one? What is encoder and decoder?
Encoder a transmitter.
Encoder, transmitter. Okay, why? How many inputs are converting into how many outputs? N to 2 power n or 2 power n to n? For encoder.
2 power n to n.
2 power
Power
n to n.
n. Whereas for decoder, n inputs,
Into 2 power n.
2 power n are the outputs. So here encoder should be used at transmitting end. So here I'll do encoding and here I'll do decoding. If I talk in terms of analog communication, there are terminology called as modulation and
Demodulation.
what is modulation and what is demodulation? Modulation. I think you have read all this.
Converting.
Modulation means
Adding of more.
there are two types of signals.
Carrier
Message
signal,
and
baseband
carrier.
signal.
Message and carrier. Now you tell me the definition for modulation.
So it's
Combination of message signal and carrier signal is called modulation.
No.
Converting high
Superimposing of message signal on carrier signal. Why I should do this? Without using carrier, can't I send the information? Suppose let us consider I'm at Hyderabad and I want to transfer some information to Bangalore. Now without using carrier, can I send that message signal directly?
No.
No.
Why?
No.
If any noise occurs, we'll lose the message.
Okay. By the way, can you give me the guarantee that it will transfer for this entire distance? Suppose say for 100 kilometers.
Without carrier, no, sir.
Without carrier, no. So in order to transfer those signals, generally this is something which is weak in nature. Okay, so that's the reason we'll impose this message signal on carrier and will transmit. Or else better example, suppose if I want to go from Hyderabad to Bangalore, what are the mediums that you use to transfer? I mean to travel? either bus or train, right? To travel. So this is nothing but carrier on which I'll impose my message signal so that I can transfer the information from transmitting and to receiving. Done. So I hope you are clear with analog and digital. Any doubts with this? And again, while
No,
transferring
sir.
the information via channel, there is a possibility that it may get corrupted because of noise. Again, two types of noises will be there. What are they?
Internal, external.
Internal, external noises will be there. Okay, this is something which is a different story. Again, we'll go completely into communication side. Okay, so if it is a digital integrated circuits, we'll deal only with binary values, which is zeros and ones. So 0 means 0 volt, 1 means 5 volt. Generally, in any live in Viva, you'll get these questions. Lab. Difference between analog and digital, and what's the reason why you are using only 5 volt? Why not greater than 5 volt? I mean, this is the answer which you need to say. In binary, there are only two values, which is logic 0 and logic 1. So logic 0 indicates 0 volt and logic 1 indicates 5 volt. And in that, we know about logic gates, multiplexers, and flip-flops. What is multiplexer? Multiplexer.
It is a combinational logic circuit designed to switch one of several input lines through a single common line.
Yes, correct. So suppose if I go for 2 cross 1 mux, how many inputs will be there? For 2 cross 1?
2 inputs.
2.
2 inputs. Say it as I0 and I1. How many outputs?
1 output.
1.
1. Okay, now how I should select? Which input should go to the output? How can I select?
By enable.
Enable or selection line?
Selection line.
Selection line, which is S. Suppose this is 0, this is 1. When selection line is 0, output will be I0. Why? Because the 0 will get connected to the output. Suppose if S is equal to 1, what will be the output? 1. So simply this 1 will be connected to the output. Now in the subject, we need to write the Verilog codes for all these modules. We shall discuss them. Done. Next, levels of abstraction. What is the small scale integration, medium scale, large scale, and very large scale? How you are differentiating them? Based on what? Before going to that, tell me about this law. What is Moore's law? No idea?
As the years increase, transistors also increase.
For every 18 months or 2 years, the transistor
count
count is
will be
getting
doubled.
the transistor count will get doubled. How? Why they are getting doubled? What is the reason? Because of decrease in the size. As size of the transistors are getting decreased, suppose say this is one wafer. So initially I have placed some 6 transistors. Now after this, what I'm doing is I'm trying to decrease this size of the transistor. Okay, size of the transistor is getting decreased so that this wafer can accommodate more number of transistors, right? So this is a reason the transistor count is getting doubled. So the reason behind transistor is getting doubled means the size of the transistor is getting reduced. Okay, so in this subject only 3 parameters are very important, which is area, power, and delay. These are the 3 factors on which this VLSI depends. Okay, by the way, you know about delay. What is delay and what is propagation delay? What is propagation delay? These are the basic terminologies. First, you need to understand, or else it will be a bit complicated for you to understand. Yeah, anyone, what is delay? If you don't know, I'll give an example. How much time will it take for this input to reach to the output? Can you tell me? So simply the time taken by the input to propagate to the output is called as propagation delay. Every gate will have some internal delay. Suppose I'm saying that this will have a delay of 2 nanoseconds. So after the application of input, which is 0, after 2 nanoseconds, I'll get the output. Okay, I think you don't know about all this. In digital electronics, only you have seen just you have given the input and you have calculated the output. But here you have to calculate each and every delay here. This wire will also have some internal delay. Okay, if more number of wires are there, the time that it takes for the information to transfer will also increase. Generally, any wire will have a delay, which is called as tau. What is time constant? Tau means, I think you might have calculated all these values in clampers. Tau, what is tau?
Constant of a given circuit.
Tau means time constant, which can be calculated by using resistance and capacitance value. Every wire will have certain delay, which can be calculated by using this one. Okay, now small scale integration. See, small scale integration means initially only 10 gates were present. Now, from small scale integration, I went to medium scale integration. See here what's happened.
Gates increased.
It is increasing. Better let us consider they are getting doubled for better understanding. Next, if I go from medium scale to large scale integration, the gate count is getting increased. How will the gate count increase? Based on what factor? Sizes are getting reduced. As sizes
Okay.
are getting reduced, count will increase. Again, in VLSI very large scale integration, the count will be more. Okay. See, this is called as Moore's law. For every 18 months, the transistor count is getting doubled. Why it is getting doubled means because the size of the transistor is getting reduced. Next, these are some of the logic families, which is TTL, transistor logic, CMOS, complementary metal oxide semiconductor, and next one is ECL, emitter coupled logic. We shall deal about this one. Anyone who has idea on the CMOS? What happened? No one is responding.
First time, sir.
First time. Okay. So as I've told you, the three parameters on which VLSI depends is area, power, and delay. Simply area means width into length. What is power? Can anyone tell me the formula for power?
V into I.
V into I
I square R. I square
I
R.
square R. Okay.
Square
V square by R. And what about this one? What is this width and what is this length? Yesterday we have seen
Rectangle
the
area.
NMOS. What is technology? Technology. Simply technology means length of the channel. See, from here to here, we call this one as length. Length of the channel can also be called as technology. In that, we'll see different kinds of technology like 22 nanometer technology, like this 180 micrometer, so on 8 nanometer. That's nothing but different technologies means different length of the channel between source and drain. You need to understand this field effect transistor concepts clearly. Okay, then what about width means? It is a three-dimensional figure. The top portion is called as width. Then whereas the distance from source to drain is called as length. Length can also be called as a technology. And we have seen delay, which is nothing but the time taken by the input to propagate to the output. Okay, these are the three parameters on which VLSI depends. Advantages of VLSI means reduced size, increased speed, reduced power consumption, and reduced cost. So can anyone tell me what is the relationship between speed and delay? Speed and delay, how they are related?
As speed increases, delay decreases.
Correct. So directly proportional or inversely proportional?
Directly.
Inversely.
Inversely
Inversely
proportional.
proportional. Okay, so as speed increases, delay decreases. If delay increases, speed decreases. Remember this point. And these are some of the basic applications of VLSI. I think you might have gone through this microprocessor. What is the difference between microprocessor and controller? Can you tell me now?
Processor for many tasks, microcontroller for specific task.
And major difference.
Cost is more, cost is less.
And
Memories and input out.
Microcontroller is like a small computer with memory and CPU and input-output ports, whereas microprocessor consists of only processor CPU.
this is the point. So processor means we can connect external peripherals. What are the external peripherals?
Input-output ports and memories.
We can connect to the processor. But what about controller?
They are inbuilt in the controller.
System on chip.
Yes, they're everything present on chip. So simply we can call it as SoC, system on chip. This is a valid point. Done. Next, memories. What is this DRAM and what is this SRAM?
Dynamic RAM, static RAM.
Okay, what is RAM and what is ROM?
Dynamic static RAM.
What is RAM and
Random
what is
access memory, read-only memory.
ROM? Okay. Which one is volatile and which one is non-volatile?
RAM is volatile.
RAM is volatile and ROM.
And again, ROM is classified into
EPROM,
PROM.
PROM.
PROM, EPROM, double EPROM.
EPROM. Double EPROM.
Okay, double EPROM.
Double.
Then what is this dynamic RAM and what is static RAM? Dynamic and static. In static, we will make use of flip-flops, whereas in dynamic RAM, we'll store information in capacitors. So for this, periodic refreshment is needed, or else it will lose the information present in it. Whereas static RAM will make use of flip-flops which can store the information. This is a major difference. And I hope you don't know about this one. ASIC, application specific integrated circuit, means it is used only for one particular application. Okay. And optical switches are some of the applications, and it has made highly sophisticated control system mass productive at low cost. So some basic applications of VLSI. Okay, now this is our actual syllabus, introduction to Verilog hardware description language. So first unit half part will be completely theory, means first you need to understand the syntax so that we can start writing the code. So can anyone read it for me? Evolution of CAD, computer aided digital design. The basic points which I have discussed in the previous slide. Can anyone read this point by point?
The earliest digital circuits were designed with vacuum tubes and transistors.
Already we have discussed this one. Next.
Integrated circuits were then invented where logic gates were placed on a single chip.
Who is the inventor of IC?
Jack Kilby.
Jack Kilby. Done. Next.
The first integrated circuit chips were SSI, small scale integration chips where the gate count was very small.
So what is this SSI? Just now I have discussed.
N
Small
gates
scale
or less.
integration means, yeah, gates will be very less. Next.
As technologies become sophisticated, designers were able to place circuits with hundreds of gates on a chip.
What is technology?
Length of the channel.
Length of.
Technology means length of the channel. Remember this point. Very important. Next.
These chips were also called MSI, medium scale integration chips.
Done. Next.
With the advent of LSI, large scale integration, designers could put thousands of gates on a single chip.
Next.
At this point, design process started getting very complicated and designers felt the need of automate this process.
Okay. You have done some mini projects, right? There everyone made use of breadboard. Why? Because your circuit complexity is very less. That's the reason you have made use of breadboard. Now suppose say if your circuit contains more number of components, say suppose 1000 components, then can you place them on breadboard to simulate and check whether it is working
No.
properly?
No.
Yeah, that's the major disadvantage. That's the reason why we are going to tools, some specific CAD tools, which is computer aided design tools. Simply in order for you to understand, consider it as suppose say multisim. So before placing everything on the breadboard, you can connect those components using this multisim software, and you can check whether that circuit is working fine or not. In our subject, we'll make use of a CAD tool called as simply Xilinx, and there are some of the tools which are also called as Cadence Virtuoso and so on. Cadence Virtuoso is one thing. Next one is Xilinx, and the extended version of Xilinx is Vivado. These are some of the tools which we're gonna use. Yeah. Next.
Chip designers began to use circuit and logic simulation techniques to verify functionality of building blocks of the order of about 100 transistors.
This is the example. Simply by using some tool, you are verifying whether your circuit is working fine or not. Next.
The circuits were still tested on a breadboard, and the layout was done on paper or by hand on a graphic computer terminal.
So once if you are confident that your circuit is working fine after placing them on the CAD tool, then you can go with the remaining process, which is called as layout. Layout means simply drawing the diagrams for it, which is stick diagram and layouts. We shall discuss these points. Stick diagrams and layouts. Next.
With the advent of VLSI, very large scale integration technology, designers could design single chip with more than 1 lakh transistors. Because
Next.
of complexity of these circuits, it was not possible to verify these circuits on a breadboard.
Okay.
Computer-aided techniques became critical for verification and design of VLSI circuits.
What is verification and what is simulation?
Verification is to check the output is correct or not for the given input.
Okay. Simulation.
It is the testing of the circuit.
Checking whether the circuit is working or not.
Right. Next. Synthesis.
Designing of circuit.
Yeah. Synthesis means to generate gate level netlist. Gate level netlist. Net means net. What is net?
Wire.
Wire. So I'm drawing one figure. You tell me whether this is gate level netlist or not. Yes. Can you tell me whether this is gate level netlist or not? This is called as gate level netlist. Why? Because all these gates are connected by means of nets. By means of wires they are connected. So this is called as gate level netlist. So whatever might be the code that you write in any high level language, but once after doing synthesis, it will get converted like this. Gate level netlist. This is the final thing that will go onto the chip. Everything will be in the form of gate level only once it is fabricated on chip. Right. Next.
Computer programs to do automatic placement and routing of circuit layouts also become popular.
Yeah.
These
Can anyone tell me this automatic placing and routing? Suppose if you are constructing some building, you'll do some placing and routing. What is placement and what is routing?
Correct position of the component.
Placement means position. Simply if you consider one wafer like this or else some open plot, you'll do some printing, right? Means you'll decide like here should be some bedroom like this and kitchen should be here, balcony should be here. In the same manner, in this VLSI also on the chip, you'll decide which component should be placed where. So generally there is a concept called as floor plan and placement. Floor plan means this entire area, how much area is available to you, and in that, in which position you have to place the component. See, suppose I'll place one mux here and one more mux here and some power supply here. In this random manner, I'll decide. So what is the important factor that I need to take care is the power consumption and the amount of space that it occupy should get reduced. Okay, this process comes under backend. This is called as backend. Whereas front end means writing Verilog codes. I will show you that flowchart also. There are two types of fields in VLSI. One is front end, next one is back end. So front end means completely we are dealing with only tools, CAD tools. So once you should be perfect with the theory part, and you should be perfect in using those CAD tools so that you can get a job in backend. But in India, the opportunities are very less in backend, whereas plenty of opportunities are available for front end in Hyderabad itself. Hyderabad and Bangalore, you'll get a job on this front end side, which is based on Verilog coding. So you can say this something which is purely software, and this is something which is purely hardware. Okay, just by using the CAD tools, we need to do this placement, routing, power analysis, and so on, which you call as backend job, and this is front end, means simply coding part. I'll show you that entire flow chart next. The designers were now building gate level digital circuits manually on graphic terminals. They would build small building blocks and then derive higher level blocks from them. Suppose if my intention is if I want to design an half adder, what are the components that I need in order to design an half adder?
And gates.
One
Okay.
XOR gate and one AND gate.
I need one XOR gate and one AND gate. So the figure looks something like this: one XOR, one AND gate. How many inputs and how many outputs for an half adder?
2 inputs, 2 outputs.
What are they?
Sum and carry.
Some carry.
Sum and carry. This is sum. This is carry. So simply sum is nothing but A XOR B and carry is A dot B. So building small building blocks and then deriving an higher level block. So these are the small building blocks which I'm clubbing them to get an module. This is called as a half adder. So only you'll be able to see that this is a circuit for half adder, but you don't know what is present internally. Okay, but they are designed by using the small building blocks. So like this, by connecting some small building blocks, we'll derive some higher level module. Suppose if I want full adder, how many gates are needed? Full adder. Full adder
2
means,
XOR gates.
or else simply 2 half adders plus one OR gate, correct?
Yes, sir.
Again, in 2 half adders, how many gates are needed?
2 XOR gates, 2 NAND gates.
NAND gates or AND gates?
AND gates.
And gates.
And
So 2, 3, 4 and 5. So total 5 gates are clubbed together to get an full adder. So this is called as small building blocks, where I'm making a proper connection of them to get this high level block, which is full adder. Next, similarly, this process would continue until they have built a top level block. So depending upon the applications, you need to make use of small level blocks. Next, logic simulators came into existence to verify the functionality of this circuit before they were fabricated on chip. Suppose this logic, I won't do this logic simulation, and directly if I fabricate them on chip, what will happen without doing simulation?
If error is there, you have to start once again.
So this leads to the wastage of time as well as money, right? Waste of time and money. So in order to overcome this, we are making use of logic simulators. So simulation means simply by giving some test inputs, we'll check whether that circuit is working fine or not. Okay, see here I've mentioned designers could iron out some of the functional bugs in the architecture before the chip was designed further. Okay, now let me ask some terminology questions to others also, because others are not responding. Rule number 6, can you tell me what is synthesis? Rule number 6. Next, rule number 8. What is synthesis? Next, rule number 13.
Design
Guys,
the circuit.
yeah, tell me what is synthesis? Synthesis and simulation.
Simulation is to test whether the
Correct. Continue. To test whether the circuit is working fine or not. Next, rule number 16, what is synthesis? Rule number 16.
Synthesis is the fabrication of circuits, sir.
Synthesis is fabrication of
design.
circuit. No. What is the output of synthesis?
Gate net level.
Gate level
Gate level netlist.
means
So connected to different, too many nets or wires.
means how gates are connected, right?
Yes.
What is net?
Nets are wires that are used to connect the gates.
Right. Next, rule number 20. What is meant by technology? Rule number 20.
Length of channel.
Length of the channel. Then rule number 27. Can you explain me about levels of abstraction? Levels of abstraction. Next, rule number 28.
So
Yeah, can you explain me about levels of abstraction?
gate level abstraction and step level.
Or else can you tell me about this SSI, MSI and LSI? What are they? What is SSI?
SSI is a small scale integration. LSI is very large scale integration. VLSI very large scale integration.
What is the difference between them?
In SSI, we choose the components, length of the components is less, whereas compared to large scale and very large scale, they vary in huge level.
Count will be different.
Yes, sir.
Suppose here if it is 10, here it will be 100, 1000, so on. Right. Next, rule number 28. What is CAD? 28. What is CAD? Next, rule number 31.
Sir, CAD is computer aided design.
Okay, what is the use of it?
Designing and drafting of automated processes.
Oh, 103. Yes, Jyotika, tell me. CAD, computer aided design. Manjunath, what is CAD?
So these are the tools by which we can verify the given circuit, sir.
Right. Okay. Next, emergence of HDLs, hardware description languages. Yeah, can anyone read this? This is generally theory part. So simply you can go through it. Tell me, can anyone read this?
For a long time, programming languages such as Fortran, Pascal, and C were being used to describe computer programs that were sequential in nature.
Yeah, what is meant by sequential? Sequential. Or else you tell me about serial and parallel. In
One
COA, we
after
have
the
seen
another.
some serial communication and parallel communication.
One data is sent after another serial.
Is called a serial, right? Correct. Next, parallel means
All bits are transferred.
all bits are transferred at a time. Correct. Now in the sequential means each and
No.
every instruction is executed one by one. I think you know about all this. What is software? What is program? What is instruction? I hope you know this. Software is nothing but group of program. Program is nothing but group of instructions. Instruction means set of statements. So sequential means each and every instruction is executed one after the another. Now, whereas in case of Verilog, you can do it parallelly. So that's why you can call it as concurrency. Parallelly, you can do it. Next point.
Similarly, in the digital design field, designers felt the need for a standard language to describe that digital circuits. Hardware description languages, HDLs, came into existence.
Okay.
HDLs allowed the designers to model the concurrency of processes found in hardware elements. Hardware description languages such as Verilog HDL and VHDL became popular.
Now in our subject, which one we are learning? Verilog or VHDL?
VHDL.
Yeah,
Verilog.
we are reading Verilog hardware description language. I'll show you this one also. No need to worry. Next, Verilog HDL.
Verilog HDL originated in 1983 at Gateway Design Automation. Later, VHDL was developed under contract from TARPA, TARPA. Both the Verilog B and VHDL simulator to stimulate large digital circuits quickly gained acceptance from designers.
Yeah, can you tell me this? What is simulators? Simulators means? Already I have discussed all this terminology.
They test whether the circuit
Circuit is very
Working fine or not. Done. Next.
Even though HDLs were popular for logic verification, designers had to manually translate the HDL-based design into a schematic circuit with interconnections between gates.
Interconnection between gates can also be called as
Nets.
nets, which is nothing but gate level
Gate
netlist.
level nets.
So when do we get gate level netlist? After which process? After simulation or after synthesis?
After synthesis.
We will get gate level netlist. This everything will be handled by that software tool. Okay. I'll show you once we are doing lab session based on Xilinx. So synthesis means generation of gate level netlist. Done. Next.
The advent of logic synthesis in the late 1980s changed the design methodology radically. Digital circuits could be described at a register transfer level by use of an HDL.
Done. So this is based purely theory. Next.
Thus, the designer had to specify how the data flows between registers and how the design processes the data, the details of gates and their interconnections to implement the circuit were automatically extracted by logic synthesis tools from the RTL description.
What is RTL description?
Register transfer level.
RTL description.
Register transfer level.
Register transfer level means generally you are describing some hardware. Next. Thus logic synthesis.
Thus, logic synthesis pushed the HDLs into the forefront of digital design. Designers no longer had to manually place gates to build digital circuits. They could describe complex circuits at an abstract level in terms of functionality and data flow by designing those circuits in HDLs.
Okay, how many ways are there to describe a particular hardware styles? Yesterday I've given you the overview. One is gate level style.
Data level.
Data flow.
Data flow. Okay. Behavioral.
Where?
And
Switching.
last one is switch level. In switch level, what are the elements that you use?
Level.
CMOS, PMOS, and NMOS.
Right. Switch level means NMOS, PMOS, and CMOS. Done. Next, logic synthesis tools.
Logic synthesis tools would implement the specified functionality in terms of gates and gate interconnections. HDLs also began to be used for system level design. HDLs were used for stimulation of system boards, interconnect buses, FPGAs, and PALs.
Programmable array logic.
Array
Okay,
logic.
next.
A common approach is to design each IC chip using an HDL and then verify system functionality via simulation.
So initially you'll get some specifications. So by understanding those specifications, you need to code, means you need to write RTL description. Simply you need to write Verilog code based on the specifications. If I say you to build something, some logic, just I'll explain in my own words and I'll give you some data summary sheet. By analyzing that, you need to write the RTL Verilog code for that. I'll show you that flowchart also so that it will be very clear for you. Done. Next, typical design flow. See, this is the flow. Design specifications. Initially, based on those design specifications, behavioral description. So by using those 4 styles, one is gate level, data flow, behavioral, and switch level. Generally in industries, everything code is been written in behavioral style of modeling. Okay. After writing that code in behavioral style, after doing synthesis, it will get converted into gate level netlist. What is the difference between this behavioral level and gate level style? Can't you write the code directly in gate level? What is the need of conversion again? What will happen if I write the code directly in gate level? However, at the end, I want gate level netlist. See, this is the end thing which I want. For that, I am writing the code in behavioral style. Why not directly in gate level style only? What will be the disadvantage? Size will increase.
Length increases.
Length will increase. That's the reason I'll write the code. Suppose if I write the code in behavioral style, I can complete it in 10 lines. Whereas if I write the same code in gate level, approximately it may take 50 lines. So the size will increase. But at the end, after you writing the code in behavioral style, you'll convert it into gate level netlist only. So that's the thing which will be done by this synthesis tool. Directly we can do this by using a tool. Okay. I've told you something called as front end and back end, right? So from here to logic verification and testing, this comes under front end. And from floor planning till implementation, we call it as backend. And this backend job is completely done by using tools, CAD tools. Whereas front end is something coding. Verilog. Nowadays they are asking for Python also. So in order to get a job in VLSI industry, you need to be perfect first with C, C++, Verilog. In order to know Verilog, first you should be perfect with the theoretical concepts like all the subjects which I've discussed yesterday, ED and STLD. Okay. And nowadays they are asking for Python also. Some languages will be there like this, like Tcl. So these are some of the languages which you need to know. So as a fresher, if you want to enter, at least you need to have this first 3 or first 4. Nowadays Python has become mandatory everywhere. Okay, so someone who is trying for software job can also try for it. That's the reason I've told you to be perfect with C language. Now C and Verilog are almost interrelated. If you are perfect with C language, directly you can write the Verilog codes. Okay, a CSE person can get a job directly by using the C and C++. But they are nowadays they are taking this for Verilog also. Why? Because an ECE guy will have a better knowledge on the subject. So once if he's perfect with this particular languages, easily can get a job. Nowadays, without knowing these languages, only they are going with Verilog. That's the reason why majority are not getting a job in this VLSI industry. So these are some of the prerequisites which you need to have. Be perfect with the subject as well as some amount of coding also you need to know. Okay, so specifications and behavioral description and RTL description, nothing but writing the code by using those 4 styles, which is gate level, data flow, behavioral and switch level. Next, after that, we'll do functional verification and testing. Means to check whether it is working fine or not. So after that, we'll convert it into gate level netlist by using a tool called as logic synthesis. Okay. So after getting logic synthesis, we'll do logic verification. Logic verification means logic. What is logic? So this is a gate level netlist which I got.
Gates.
Tell me whether this is correct or wrong. I've given some random test
Wrong,
inputs and I'm
sir.
checking it. This is wrong.
Wrong.
So suppose
Wrong.
after reaching till this point, if you know that your code is wrong, what will you do? Again, you go back to this RTL description and try to correct those errors in your source code. Means you have described some hardware wrong, so that's the reason you are getting errors. So check your source code, try to find those bugs, try to overcome them, and again come back to the testing part. So once if you are done with this, you can go to the floor planning and placement, which comes under backend. Okay, this each and every level you have one job role will be there for each and every level. One team will do RTL description, one team will do verification part, one team will do synthesis. So that's the reason in VLSI you'll get more pay. See, for suppose say for 2 months you'll write RTL description. So for those 2 months, this remaining guys will be free. Next, after the completion of the RTL description, once if the process enters into the functional verification, there won't be any work for these guys. Now they can enjoy. So in sequential stage, it will go. Okay, so after completion of first process, you'll enter into second, third, and so on. Okay, tomorrow we shall see in detail about this design flow. So first half unit is completely theoretical. So there is no need for you to go through this, but better if you understand some of the major capabilities, and from here your actual topic starts. Syntax. Then let me download the attendance. Yes guys, let me know if you're having any queries. So for this subject you need to go through Samir Palitkar textbook. Better try to purchase this book, first one. If you want soft copy also, I'll send you. Let me know if you are having any queries. First be perfect with the terminology. Next we can start the subject. So this is a book. Better try to purchase this one and go through the first chapter, which is completely theory part. And how many are attending this online classes from PC or laptop? Please raise your hand so that we can do the lab. Madhavi, please let me know the count. You text in our group once. What's the count?
Okay, sir.
So that we can decide to start the lab or not. So without coming to the
Okay,
college
sir.
also we can do this lab. So simple thing is you need to have either laptop or desktop. So that directly by installing the software, I'll provide you the software as well. So directly we can do this, no problem with the lab. See everyone, please go through this chapter number 1. This is directly based on your syllabus only. Just overview of digital system design and this evolution, emergence, flow, importance, popularity and trend. Sometimes randomly you might get a question based on this typical design flow. In this chapter number 1, you will get a question on typical design flow. He will ask you to describe each and every terminology which I have discussed already: verification, simulation, synthesis. So better you go through this part number 1, which is chapter 1. Okay.
So right now around 20 raised their hands.
Only 20 out of
Yes.
147. So how many attended today? 71 are there. Half of the strength is there. So better you text me in the group. So based on that we shall decide.
Okay.
Okay.
Sir. Okay. Sir.
Done. Thank you.
Share the textbook.
Share the textbook. Okay, I'll do it.
Okay, sir.
Better everyone try to purchase the textbook. Don't take a Xerox or something. Better purchase that book. It will be very easy for you.